يحضرون لعملية الغياب. المعادلة اختلفت.
Good afternoon. You're watching the English newscast on Future Television. I'm Yuma Naufal. These are today's headlines. Progressive Socialist Party leader MP Wali Jumblad criticizes the sentence issued by the military court against former minister Michel Smeha. Moscow is looking to increase its role in the Middle East after a decades-long absence. Those are the words of the Russian State Foreign Affairs Committee to former Prime Minister Saad Hariri. And the March 14 General Secretariat concludes a workshop for its preparatory commission, which is tasked with proposing the roadmap to the upcoming stage of the bylaws and the coalition's National Council. Progressive Socialist Party leader MP Wali Jumblad is criticizing the sentence issued by the military court against former Minister Michel Smeha. The court's verdict in Smeha's case legalizes assassinations and explosions, he said in a statement. The verdict can only be described as a judicial, military and political scandal that avoids the implementation of law and justice against those who oversee the execution of crimes and terrorist bombings. The slight verdict, he says, contradicts all political and legal factors and leads everybody to believe that addressing the case of the military judiciary, which has exceeded its privileges. The MP noted that Smeha's verdict demands that the military tribunal's jurisdiction in tackling crimes be reconsidered and allow normal courts to play their role. We have to cut this short to go back to the Special Tribunal for Lebanon.
وخلال المساء أبلغني صديق المحكمة للادعاء بأن.
Welcome back. You're watching the English news on Future Television. Moscow is looking to increase its role in the Middle East after a decades-long absence. The chairman of the Russian State Duma Foreign Affairs Committee, Alexei Pushkov, said after meeting former Prime Minister Saad Hariri. Russia has been somewhat absent from the region over the past 20 years because it was preoccupied with internal issues such as the economy, Pushkov said in a statement released by Hariri's office. The chairman also criticized Washington for failing to resolve regional conflicts over the past 2 decades. During the past 20 years, he said Moscow allowed the U.S. to find solutions to the conflicts in the Middle East, but the results were very disappointing. Pushkov argued that the lack of progress resolving the Palestinian issues, the establishment of ISIS after the U.S. occupation of Iraq, and the current instability engulfing Libya, Yemen, and Syria were the result of failed U.S. policies. The March 14 General Secretariat concluded a workshop for its preparatory commission, which is tasked with proposing the roadmap of the upcoming stage and the bylaws of the coalition's National Council. According to a statement issued by the Secretariat, the commission failed to reach an agreement over the council's final manifesto, which includes political parties, independents, and civil society activists. The statement said that 7 official meetings were held at the Secretariat's headquarters with the attendance of the majority of its members. Due to the national need, the independents decided to prepare for their own national council. The Secretariat said that it will continue coordination between the components of the March 14 alliance to preserve its unity. The March 14 camp announced the formation of a national council comprising political parties, independents, and civil society activists. Regime airstrikes on 3 adjacent rebel-held villages in northern Syria killed at least 39 civilians, 17 of them children, according to the monitoring group. 8 siblings were among the dead from the strikes in southern Aleppo province, around 15 kilometers from the main highway south towards the capital. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said dozens of civilians were also wounded in the raids, which involved both missile strikes and barrel bombings. The Syrian government has been repeatedly condemned for its widespread use of barrel bombs, crude weapons made from oil drums, gas cylinders, or water tanks packed with explosives and scrap metal and dropped from helicopters. Saudi-led forces accuse Yemen Houthi rebels of violating a ceasefire, but say they will abide by a 5-day humanitarian truce that has allowed aid agencies to deliver relief supplies. The humanitarian pause that began late on Tuesday is the first break in the air war that the Saudi coalition launched on March 26 in support of exiled President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi and has strong backing from Washington. In a statement carried by the official Saudi press agency, the coalition said the Iran-backed rebels had violated the truce 12 times, including with artillery and rocket attacks in several towns in the south. Officials say rockets fired from the rebel-held north had also hit Saudi border areas and that there had been rebel troop movements in Yemen's south. Despite the alleged violations, the coalition pledged its full commitment to the humanitarian truce and restraint. Facebook tied up with 9 news publishers to launch instant articles that will let them publish articles directly to the social network's mobile news feeds. Instant articles will let stories load more than 10 times faster than standard mobile web articles and will include content from publishers such as the New York Times, BuzzFeed, and National Geographic. Facebook said this in a blog post on its website. The instant articles will let the news outlets publish directly to the social network's mobile news feeds. Users get new features like autoplay and interactive maps. The internet social networking company will also let the news companies track data and traffic through Comscore and other analytical tools. The 68th Cannes International Film Festival kicked off on Wednesday evening as the poster of the Swedish actress Ingrid Bergman was hanged on the festival palace, whom this year's festival is dedicated to. The small coastal city entered the movie festival time again. At around 17:30, dressed-up movie stars from all over the world walked on the red carpet successively. Joel and Ethan Coen will co-lead the Cannes jury this year. Among the jury, Jake Gyllenhaal and Sophie Marceau also attract great attention. 9 judges will decide who gets Cannes' prestigious Palme d'Or, top prize in 11 days after watching 19 shortlisted movies. Chinese directors have also achieved good results on this year's festival. Festival chief Thierry Frémaux fielded questions about female directors and self-photography since he announced the lineup last month and said that he considered vulgar selfies the scourge of the red carpet.
No, really, I don't know. And don't ask me who will win the Palme d'Or. I don't know. And it's always hard to know. Even the Coen brother, president of the jury, they don't know how they will react. Because when you're in Cannes, you start the first of the 12 days. Day after day, you are another person. You are made by the movie you watch, and all what you believed in before, sometimes you change your mind. That's why it's very exciting. All the people who said that there is not enough women director in Cannes, it's not totally true, but I don't want to say that it's not a problem. It is a problem. We need more women, more female directors in world cinema. But I don't like the idea of discussing this only in an interview and only during Cannes. It's better to have that discussion in November, out of everything, in order to go to the roots of why, as we have a lot of female singers or female novelists, we don't have so many female directors. But I finish in saying that more and more we have more female directors here and in cinema. Well, since September 11, since always, Cannes is a place which is very well protected because, you know, for me and for the people who work with me, how mine is not focused on the films during the festival. It's focused on organization, security, pleasure of people, and that is the most important thing. Sun, are we going to have sun or not? That is also something very important in Cannes. So for sure that the security measures are very, very, very important here. No, I can't ban, and I don't want. I mean, I am not a policeman, and we don't want at all to look tough and to look not nice with people. But last year was a problem. I mean, every single person shooting 3 pictures of himself during the process of the red carpet for the film. There is 2,000 seats, so we were late for that, and we prefer to have people really living what they live, and not thinking that they are the big stars of themselves. I think it's a ridiculous attitude, but it's my opinion. No, the selfie is, but someone in England recently, a fashion magazine, wrote that I was right, that it's over now. If you want to be fashionable, please don't do selfie. It's ridiculous.
This marks the end of our bulletin for today. Now for a reminder of our top stories. Progressive Socialist Party leader MP Walid Jumlad criticizes the sentence issued by the military court against former minister Michel Smeha. Moscow is looking to increase its role in the Middle East after a decades-long absence, according to the chairman of the Russian State Foreign Affairs, after meeting with Prime Minister Saad Hariri. And the March 14 General Secretariat concludes a workshop for its preparatory commission, which is tasked with proposing the roadmap of the upcoming stage of the bylaws and the coalition's National Council. Those are your headlines for this Thursday. Catch us again tomorrow for all the latest. Have a good night.
كانوا يحضرون لعملية الغياب.